job for a president to lead us in this rebuilding process. In order to facilitate that, we gathered here to ask our honorable candidates and their opinion, their views, and how they will be leading us in this rebuilding process of the Liberal Party of Canada. On my right hand, I have 4 candidates, and starting from here, Mike Crawley, Sheila Cobbs, Alexandra Mendez, and Ron Hartling. I'm very thankful and grateful for you to come. You came here all the way from different parts of Canada to support us and give your views and re-energize and rebuild our party. Here's another job I have to do. I will ask all the national executive candidates to please stand up, and Sonia and Ryan can help me to introduce all of them who are present in this hall, kindly. Please hold your applause.
We can just get you to give your name and what you're running for.
Pierre La Jeunesse, I'm riding for VP French. I'm from Joliet, Quebec.
James Morton, Oshawa Thornhill, and I'm running for Vice President English.
My name is Matt Certosimo from Dufferin-Caledon. I'm running for National Membership Secretary.
My name is Kyle Harrietta. I'm from Fort McMurray, Athabasca. I'm running for National Membership Secretary.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Imran Ahmad. I'm running for Vice President Francophone. Originally from Montreal, grew up in Quebec, and am now based here in Vaughan, in Ontario.
I'm Marianne Camporis. I'm running for National Policy Chair, and I am currently your Vice President Policy here in Ontario.
Zach Pagan, running for National Policy Chair, originally from this beautiful riding of Toronto Centre, and now living in Mohoya.
Hi everyone, my name is Braden Cayley from Vancouver Centre now, by Richmond, British Columbia originally. Great to be out with you in Ontario, and like Marianne and Zach, I'm running for Policy Chair of the party.
Hello everyone, Josh Hutchinson. I'm running for Vice President Finance, the Young Liberals of Canada, and I'm from Vancouver and beautiful British Columbia.
Hello, my name is David Valentin. I'm running for Vice President Communications of the Young Liberals of Canada, and I'm actually from St. Paul's.
Can we make sure that all the candidates who are present in this hall has been introduced? That's good. So you have met some of the candidates who are running for the National Executive Office. So please meet after this event and have the discussion with them one-to-one. Now, this event will be not handed over, run by me, but it is moderated by Sonia Patterson and Ryan Davey. And I will ask Sonia to take over the charge and run the show.
Thanks so much. I'm just going to quickly how this open mic session is going to work. Ryan and I have the 2 microphones, and don't be shy, we'll be walking around the room, so just put up your hand and be patient, we'll come and call you when the time comes. Now, over the past few months, the rebuilding sessions have made a few really key themes apparent. Since it's been a while, I'll just help you jog your memories just in case with Christmas and New Year's and everything. The main points of feedback that you guys have provided to the party through these sessions has been really the areas of policy development, community development, or the riding associations, the party's external communication strategy, including social media, the party's internal communication strategy, membership, fundraising, and of course the role of the president. So these topics may be a great place to start to develop your questions, but of course if you have questions that are outside these topic areas, they're absolutely encouraged. We just ask that you keep your questions as constructive as possible and keep them hopefully addressed to all of the panelists. This may be one of the last large forums in which our candidates have to speak at before the convention. And of course, the success of this event depends on you. So I would ask that you also keep your questions as brief as possible, hopefully, preferably one sentence, so to allow time for our candidates to respond to all of the questions and for us to get through as many questions as a group. Now, our candidates have been asked to keep the responses pretty brief so that we as the audience can inform ourselves on as many topics as possible. Now, finally, one more item of housekeeping. We just ask that you identify yourself if you're asking a question. Just state your first and last name, your riding, and whether or not you'll be a delegate at the upcoming convention. So with that said, why don't we turn over the mics to you. Ryan, you want to field the first question?
Sure, do we have any hands up? First question? Yeah.
First one here, I guess I gotta say my name. I'm Jason Stone. I'm from Toronto, originally from Halifax. And I've got a question for you guys. In terms of how we're gonna do the primaries, right now we're talking about memberships and people have to be members of the party to actually vote on it. I'm wondering how we're gonna figure out the people that want to support our party don't necessarily have memberships. And so what I'm trying to figure out is how you guys are gonna bring those guys into the fold going forward. For instance, I work on Bay Street. I have a lot of friends that will support our party, but don't necessarily want to take up memberships. How do we get those people in the fold that want to participate but don't necessarily want memberships?
So, Ron, why don't you start?
Sure. Okay. Is this on? Go ahead. Is this on?
You have to press the button on the side there that says select. I think on the right.
There's two buttons here.
Yeah.
Someone else want to one on the right is the select. Right now they're not working.
This one? This is great.
Technology.
And I have an electrical engineering background. I can address that quite well from experience, actually. When I took over as writing president in Kingston in 2009, pre-liberalist days, we didn't have a database, so I started creating a database using Excel. We had about 350 members, but when I consolidated all the lists and all of the things we did, I ended up with a list of about 2,000 supporters in addition to those members. So we got them involved. We invited them to events. We kept them informed. We we invited them to participate in our policy committee, and got them very enthusiastic. When it came time for a nomination contest, virtually all of them became members. Our membership jumped up in the high 2000s. Not once during that time did I ever encounter anyone who said, gee, I'm a supporter, but I would really like to have a vote. They became members when the time came, and it worked really well. My problem with the current proposal is that it's based on a lot of assumptions that are unproven and untested and even unstated. There's a lot of good reasons to pursue how we better engage supporters. But before we actually change our constitution, I'd like to talk to those supporters, find out who they are, find out what they actually want. When the MPs, the caucus members went around and talked, gave the PowerPoint for the blueprint. The one done in Kingston for neighboring Kingston and neighboring ridings, there were 40 people there in a straw poll. It was actually folks were actually unanimously against it. So our members aren't very comfortable with this, and I don't think we should move that quickly.
Thanks, Ron. Now, who would like to go next? Alexander?
Thank you. I agree with most of what Ron just said, and I would add that before we actually go to this formula of supporters, we need to identify them. And we need to invest in micro-targeting that actually helps us identify our supporters. Right now, we don't have the capacity to know who really supports us in our different communities. in your workspace, you do know who is a Liberal sympathizer, but a lot of us, even in our own ranks, we don't know who are really the Liberal supporters because a lot of people don't want to become members of the party. So before we go forth with the change of the Constitution, I would invest in micro-targeting to help us identify supporters and sympathizers, and I would certainly hope that we test run this idea of primaries in a by-election before we even think of bringing this nationally.
Well, I actually, first of all, great to be here. And Peter Newman, we are not dead. We are alive and growing. It's just fantastic. Take that, Peter C. Newman. I actually favor the primary position. I think as a party we need to do things differently.
Sorry, can you just move your mic closer?
Sorry. Imagine that I can't be heard.
Sorry, grab mics, please.
Is that okay? It's not working. Good. I can speak without it. Okay. Oh, thanks. I think we're getting a little bit hung up on the supporters and members issue because I think there's a fair degree of consensus in the party that if you want to be involved in the if you want to be involved in the voting process for the party, you should be a member. And I think the issue is how we facilitate membership in as simple a way as possible. Right now it costs us $14 to send out a $10 membership because the cost of managing the membership is $4 more than we're actually receiving. So I believe we should have a free membership, and it should be able to be downloadable online, and you should be able to become a member right up. And I would like to see, I wouldn't call it a primary. I think the Americanization of the term was unfortunate because words do matter. But I believe we could have a progressive vote where we, and this is what I would suggest or envision or want to promote the idea, start the first vote in the cradle of Confederation, Prince Edward Island. You respect the current Constitution, which calls for a one-member, one-vote weighted system, but you have a debate in the Confederation Center, and you allow all islanders to vote either in person or online at the conclusion of the debate. The debate then moves to British Columbia, so the following week, and we publish the results in PEI. We then move to British Columbia, and we engage British Columbians in a good debate on that province's issue, and we allow people to join the party and register as Liberals to vote in an online vote, which could take place right up to and at the end of the debate of the candidates. And I think you move back east and back west and culminate, likely, in a super vote, which might straddle la belle province de Québec et l'Ontario, Quebec and Ontario, and have a super vote weekend where all delegates in Ontario and Quebec cast their vote in a weighted system, but giving all the candidates the opportunity to share their issues with a wide swath of audience by television over a period of 8 to 10 weeks. I think in Alberta, the recent Liberal leadership generated 25,000 new members for the Liberal Party of Alberta. And I think we would be foolish to turn our backs on a new way of doing business when at the moment, obviously the old way of doing business has not been that successful.